McDonaldのジャーキャストのでです。はじめまして。よろしくお願いします。And a special welcome to my team, McDonald's Japan members. I know some of you are here today. I'm going to tell our story today. So, thank you for the kind introduction. It's fantastic to be here in Kyoto, one of my absolute favorite cities. And from the introduction, you know, I've lived in a lot of cities. So last week, I celebrated my 28th anniversary working with McDonald's. And only 5 of those years was in Canada. I lived in Moscow, I worked in Kiev, Istanbul, Toronto, Chicago, Tokyo, Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur, Singapore, and Tokyo. And yes, you heard me mention Tokyo twice, because this is my second time living here. My first time was in 2004 as the Chief Marketing Officer for McDonald's Japan for 5 years. So I came back in 2013 as the CEO, and it's given me an incredible opportunity to visit almost every corner of Japan. We have 2,900 restaurants in Japan. They are in every corner, every prefecture. And one of my favorite parts of my job is visiting those restaurants. So I visited all the prefectures. One of my favorites is Kyoto. We have 31 restaurants here in Kyoto and another 50 in the prefecture. So it's one of my favorite cities. Whenever tourists come, my family, we always come to Kyoto. And I'm not surprised that it's voted one of the best tourist destinations in the world. You should be very, very proud. So now that I've buttered you up, telling you how great your city is, I'm going to tell you a story. And it's the recent history of McDonald's in Japan. And it's got lessons for any size business, small or large, any business that's facing changing business environment, evolving consumer needs, and the realities of human nature in management. So, let me start with some history. McDonald's was founded with its first restaurant in 1955 in the United States. And since then, it has grown to be the largest quick-service restaurant business in the world, serving 70 million people a day in 37,000 restaurants in 119 countries. Japan was our first market outside of the United States. We opened in 1971 on the Ginza. And over the next number of decades, we grew to become the largest quick-service restaurant in Japan. 2,900 restaurants serving 1.4 billion customers per year. The brand is global, but our business is local. And it's rooted in our communities. And actually, many of our restaurants are run by independent businessmen and women, local franchisees with very deep roots in their communities. Since the beginning, we have been guided by the wisdom of our founder, who said many things, but a couple I will share. The first one, we are not a hamburger business serving people. We are a people business serving hamburgers. that's become our mantra, QSC&V, quality, service, cleanliness, and value. That wisdom has driven our growth, and that wisdom is at the heart of who we are. Unfortunately, at some point, we lost sight of who we are in Japan. And that led to a very intense and at sometimes very painful experience. And that's the story I'm going to tell you today. So let's start by asking a question. How does a large organization go from the pinnacle of success to a crisis that threatens its very survival? Well, the short answer to that question is that success comes with a curse. And the name of that curse is complacency. Now, Webster's dictionary defines complacency as self-satisfaction, especially when accompanied with unawareness of actual danger or deficiency. In corporate management, complacency is an affliction brought on by success. The longer you have grown without interruption, the more profitable you are, the more dominant you are in your industry, the more vulnerable you are to complacency. If your company reaches number one and stays there for a decade or two, you probably have almost no immunity to complacency. Now, it's that little voice that whispers in the shacho's ear and says, growth is slowing, but we're still growing. It's okay. Do we really need to worry so much about cutting costs? Oh, come on, we know what customers want. Why do we want to spend all that money on research? Oh, what we did in the past, that worked, we'll just keep doing that. Complacency is comforting because it allows you to go with the flow and avoid uncomfortable confrontation. Once entrenched, complacency can persist even in the face of clear evidence that change is needed. Think about the frog in the pot, where the water is getting warmer and warmer and warmer. Complacent managers usually don't notice until it's too late. Back in the good old days, maybe it didn't matter. Once you got to the top of the totem pole, very rarely do companies get knocked off. But now we live in an era of change that is unprecedented in speed and scope. Demographics, culture, customer needs and preferences, globalization, and most of all, technology. You put all this together, and you have an environment where complacency is fatal, where historic strengths become weaknesses. That's the context. Now I'm going to tell you the story of a complacent giant that was shaken awake before it was too late. Okay, as I mentioned, McDonald's first leap beyond North America was Japan. We opened our first restaurant in 1971 on the Ginza. And for the next 4 decades, we grew and we grew and we grew and we grew and we grew some more. 3,300 restaurants, 542 billion yen in sales. Wow. But just when you hit a peak like that, that's the moment you are most vulnerable to complacency. Sure enough, after 2010, McDonald's Japan started to lose its way. Complacency began to set in. The world was changing, but we weren't. We were following, we weren't leading. And just when customers started to change, that's when we stopped listening. Especially about their expectations about value and the quality of their experience. We continued to focus on expansion when what we needed to do was invest in the restaurants we already had. As a result, the restaurants were looking old and tired. And while the burgers and the fries were just as delicious as ever, the combinations we had on offer didn't represent good value. We didn't have enough that was new and exciting, and at the same time, convenience stores, supermarkets, other restaurant formats started to expand rapidly and come up with new offerings. And maybe, worst of all, we lost the fun, and the passion, and the energy that always attracted people, especially families, to McDonald's. In the face of all this, our organization was not moving fast enough. Decision-making was slow, rigid, way too centralized. We weren't investing in talent. We lost the all-important communication between the head office, the teamwork, the head office and our restaurants, our franchisees, the Gemba, our frontline crew. After the disasters of 2011, this became readily more apparent. By 2013, the downtrend had severely eroded customer loyalty, employee morale, sales, and our financial results. That's when it was decided new leadership would be brought in. Well, I wonder, who were they going to choose? So as I mentioned, in 2004 to 2009, I was in Japan as the Chief Marketing Officer. I met many of the people that today are my colleagues, and I became acquainted with the challenges that McDonald's Japan was facing. After I left Japan, I moved to Malaysia, Singapore, and I moved from marketing into general management. Moving back to Tokyo wasn't anywhere on my radar screen. So imagine my surprise when I got the tap on the shoulder. We'd like you to come to Japan. President, CEO of McDonald's Japan. It's the second biggest market in the world. I'm like, wow, yeah, a dream job. Yeah, except it turned out to be more like, be careful what you wish for. In my first year back, results continued to slide. Worst of all, we were hit with two very public food quality issues that cratered customer loyalty and employee morale. It was a traumatic time for me personally, but more so for everyone in McDonald's Japan, especially our managers and our crew and our franchisees who are serving our customers face to face every day. Sales continued to slide, and in 2015, we were 30% below our all-time high of 2010, which meant we booked a loss of 34 billion yen on the year. Well, when you hit the bottom like that, there's only one way to go, up. And as the old saying goes, never let a good crisis go to waste. The one positive thing about our dire situation was that it swept every crumb of complacency out of the system. People were not saying, oh, come on, we have to change that. They were saying, tell us what we need to change. Tell us how we need to change it. Well, implementing change in a system as large as ours, 140,000 people, takes massive effort. And you need to be very sure before you act. You need to have steady nerves to take the time to develop a plan. Actions for some issues, like strengthening our food quality systems, were very straightforward and easy to execute. The more challenging issues were regaining our customer trust and rebuilding the morale of our people. The first step was to put together an all-star management team. A management team with the experience and the expertise to be able to write an efficient strategy and plan. Once we had that team pulled together, we took 4 months to write our business revitalization plan. Its primary focus was on rebuilding our relationship with our customers. If there's one thing I've learned about customer issues from a lifetime in marketing, the first thing you need to do is listen. That's why I set out to visit all 47 prefectures, to listen to customers and hear what they wanted from McDonald's. I heard criticism and I heard praise. And I spent a lot of time with moms, 350 of them, because one of our big goals was to bring families back to McDonald's. One thing I heard over and over and over again is we want the original McDonald's back. A fun place with great tasting burgers and fries, everyday affordability, and a clean, modern environment with a smile. A place with food and experience that no one else can come close to matching. So with that input from our customers, we sat down to write our plan. In 2015 in April, we launched our business revitalization plan. And it was based on these 4 pillars. Customer-focused initiatives, investing and upgrading our restaurant portfolio, localizing our business structure, and achieving cost and resource efficiency. So now I'll take you through each of these. First is customer-focused initiatives. Now, this was a package of initiatives designed to give customers the visible changes they said they wanted from McDonald's. 5 areas: food safety and quality, menu, value, QSC, quality service cleanliness, and customer engagement. So let's start with food safety and quality. Obviously a priority. It's the foundation of our business. It's where we lost trust. So having done everything we could to strengthen our food quality system, now we needed to tell customers about what we'd done. And the moms I spent time with, they said, we want more information about your food. We want to know where it comes from, how it's made, who's responsible for food safety and quality. We want allergy information. And by the way, can you make it easier to get that information? So we launched new McDonald's Quality. It's a website that has everything you ever wanted to know about our food. And you can access it with QR codes on the top of our packaging or through social media. Now, we had to do this. You've seen all the fake news on the internet. I'm sure all of you have seen these weird, wacky rumors about McDonald's food. They're everywhere. They're worldwide. I've seen them in every country I've been in. Well, they're not true. So slowly but surely, we're putting those rumors to rest by being more transparent about our food than we ever have been. Okay. Second, in terms of menu, customers told us, we want McDonald's to be McDonald's again. Great tasting burgers and fries, affordable, fun, with promotions that create fun and passion and energy. So with that input, we went out to give them what they wanted. So, more uniquely McDonald's burgers, more different takes on classic favorites, with promotions that work to make the brand fun again. Things like Kaito Nuggets, Grand Big Mac Taco Fries, and we launched Oishisa Kojo Sengen, our tastiness declaration, our promise to our customers to continue to improve the deliciousness of McDonald's food. And we started with premium roast coffee and launching the first lineup of permanent burgers in 8 years, designed specifically for Japanese tastes, the Grand Series. If you haven't tried our new coffee or our Grands, please visit a restaurant and give them a try. Okay, value. Even though we had 100 yen burgers on the menu, customers said, you're expensive. Your pricing is confusing, it's non-transparent, we don't think you're good value. So we set out to reset our value proposition in 3 stages. The first is extra value meal choice. You can choose any side and any beverage with your meal, no extra charge. Number 2, Otagoro Mac, our everyday, affordable price platform. And 3, to meet the lunch budgets of salarymen and office ladies, value lunch. So that's the V in QSC and V. Now for QSC. So QSC, I told you, it's in our Constitution from Ray Kroc. So imagine how disturbing it was to hear from our customers, you're not meeting our expectations in hospitality and cleanliness. So we went right back to basics. We brought everybody in for retraining with new manuals, and we said, this is vital. We have to change it. And when we don't meet our customers' expectations, we want to hear about it. Just like we want to hear about it if we do a great job. So we launched Kodo. Kodo is a mobile phone app where customers can give feedback directly to restaurants. Restaurant managers now know real time what their customers are saying about the quality of service in their restaurants. Since we launched it, we have received more than 10 million pieces of feedback from customers in restaurants in Japan. And then finally, most of you will remember this, to remind people what they can expect from McDonald's, we put Smiles 0 yen back on the menu board. Okay, last but not least, customer engagement. So with the menu, it's not just what we're doing, it's how we're doing it, putting the fun back in McDonald's, and thank goodness our customers said, please make it fun again, because that has given us broad scope to have fun with digital as we move from yelling and selling to interactively engaging our customers. Customers today are so glued to their cell phones that they won't even look up when they cross a busy street. huge mural on a wall outside Kyoto Station, they probably wouldn't see it. Well, unless they stopped to take selfies in front of it, and then it would end up on their smartphone screen. So the question we asked ourselves is, how do we get McDonald's on those smartphone screens? And our solution was the McDonald's app, and we had amazing success with it. We've had 54 million downloads in Japan. It's the largest app in McDonald's global system. You can find out what's on the menu, what the promotions are. You can get coupons. You can look up allergy information. You can look up the nearest restaurant. If you haven't downloaded it yet, I want to get to 55 million, so pull out your phones and download it now. Please. I know what Noah said. It's okay, you can take your phone out. All right, we're also leveraging the awareness that we generate on TV to create waves of interactive conversation in the digital realm. And we've had some amazing results with this too. Now, the main thing to understand about digital is that it really works when it's fun and engaging. The minute someone gets some digital content that has them participating, or makes them laugh, or they think is cute, they send it to their friends. And if it's fun, then it becomes viral. And it really works when you have fun TV with fun digital. You can make things go viral overnight. And once again, thank goodness that our customers said, please make it fun again, because this has allowed us to give our creative teams lots of scope to be very creative and come up with some wild and fun ideas. One promotion we did in 2017 made me laugh the moment I read the concept. The creative team proposed to start a war between Tokyo and Osaka. Now, I'm Canadian. Before we go any further, I'm Canadian. I'm strictly neutral in the Kanto-Kansai rivalry. Okay? But I know that here in Kyoto, you love it when Tokyo and Osaka wrestle. Especially when Osaka ends up winning. So, around the world, different countries have affectionate nicknames for McDonald's. In Australia, they call us Macas. In Canada, some people call it Mickey D's. In Japan, Kanto and Kansai can't agree. So around here, you call it Makudo. In Tokyo and everywhere else, it's Mak. So the idea was, and you'll see it in this video, the idea was to put this question and issue to rest once and for all.
決着をつける時がやってきました。美味しさ対決、マックなのかマクドなのか、対決に向け言語や文化も大きく違う両陣営を代表する商品を一から開発。マック代表は洗練された東京をイメージしたスタイリッシュな東京ローストビーフバーガー。マクド代表は大阪のソウルフードをモチーフにしたコテコテの大阪ビーフカツバーガー。対決の火蓋が切って落とされたのです。大阪ビーフカツバーガー、東京の美味しさが大阪の美味しさ。この対決は瞬く間に話題を呼び、それぞれの商品を食べてみたいと考えた人々が全国の店舗に押し寄せました。マクド軍が攻めれば だ対決の結果は僅差でマクド軍の勝利。勝利を祝って優勝セールクーポンの配布をはじめとする施策が実施され、公式サイトではなんと社長のメッセージまで関西弁化。話題はさらに拡散しました。ツイートによるキャンペーンへの参加数はなんと36万人を超え、 PR の広告換算費は日本マクドナルド史上最高の11億円を突破。売上の向上にも貢献しました。そして何よりマクドナルドブランドの遊び心をたくさんの人に思い出してもらえるきっかけに。マックなのかマクドなのか、あなたは。
So I just love that idea. But I'm sure you could have predicted before we even started who would win. Because people in Tokyo are only vaguely aware there's an entire country outside the Yamanote line, and competing with Osaka doesn't really engage them. But Osaka, they'll take any opportunity to beat Tokyo. Don't tell them I said that. And I love the way they translated my message into Osaka Ben, because it's more casual, kind of like the way we talk in Canada. So, the issue is resolved. We are Makudo. Done. All right. So, where were we before I started showing videos? We were talking about the pillars of the revitalization plan. So the next pillar is about working around physical pillars as we work to modernize our restaurants. So, as I said, we recognize that our restaurants are getting old and tired. Our customers told us that too. And they told us they wanted an ambiance, a smart ambiance, with a little bit of spark that made them feel good about themselves. And that's why upgrading our restaurant portfolio became a top priority for us, despite the huge financial investment. I think all of you have seen a change in our restaurants over the past 3 years. Thought it was vital to the future of McDonald's in Japan for our brand and our restaurant experience. And in the past 3 years, we have modernized 90% of our restaurants. Number 3, localizing our operations. As I went around the country to talk to customers, I also talked to our franchisees and our store managers. And I heard over and over again, head office is too distant. It doesn't listen. It's too heavy-handed. So I just eliminated the head office. Well, it's still there, the west side of Shinjuku Station, but it's now called the National Restaurant Support Office. This is more than just a word game. It makes very clear that we all only have one purpose, and that's to support the restaurants. Because all of the business in our company comes over the front counter or through the drive-thru in our restaurants. We moved from a national structure to a regional structure, with 3 regional management teams pushing resources and decision-making closer to our franchisees and our customers. And finally, the 4th pillar, achieving cost and resource efficiency. I'll tell you, when you hit bottom like we did, you're not going to save your way to prosperity. But it gives you a chance to take a whole new look at everything. For instance, even though it was a difficult decision, we decided to close 131 of our loss-making restaurants, and we downsized our bureaucracy. We looked at every line item on the P&L. If it wasn't customer-facing, If it didn't improve the customer experience, then it was up for grabs. Because then we could focus our resources on investing in other priorities. So with this business revitalization plan in place, we executed a solid turnaround in 2016, and we moved to a new phase of sustainable growth. So, what was it? What was it that propelled us from a loss of 34 billion yen to a profit forecast in 2018 of 21 billion yen positive? What was it? It was teamwork. Having a customer-focused plan is not enough, because it's only words on paper unless everybody gets behind it to execute it. So we started focusing on teamwork with the management team, because this all-star team I pulled together wasn't just Japanese. We've got 7 different nationalities represented on our team. So while working on the business revitalization plan, we also did off-site meetings far away from Shinjuku. It allowed us to better focus on our plan, but also build stronger relationships to help with communication and coordination. Once we moved from a national structure to a regional structure, we streamlined the organization. We reviewed our delegation of authority guidelines, basically our guidelines for who makes what decision, to push decision-making downward. So for instance, before this happened, I was approving every office expense over 1 million yen. It's crazy. Now it's 100 million yen. Letting people make decisions. Meanwhile, while all this is going on, just as I hoped, ideas started to percolate from within. So one day, I got an email from a manager who had been with us in the support office, had been with us for 3 years. She was in supply chain. And she had taken this idea to her boss. And her boss said, "You don't have time for that." So she went to her boss's boss, who said, "You don't have time for that." So she wrote to me. I said, "Sure, come and see me." She sat down in my office and she said, "I've been watching the way we work. We're too slow. We're not working together enough. We're not giving the restaurants the support they need. I want to get everyone in the office together to create the staff commitment to the restaurants." I loved it. So I'll give you anything you need to make it happen. She enlisted the help of some other mid-management members, and within a few months had all 600 people in the support office in workshops, not one big workshop, a bunch of small workshops, to discuss what was working, what wasn't working, come up with ideas people could vote on. And within 2 months, we had the staff commitment to the restaurants. Be customer, work together, act first, and go Gemba. To further inspire teamwork, we completely revamped internal communication. In January 2016, we brought all of our key people together. 4,000 people. Franchisees, restaurant managers, suppliers, and restaurant support office staff. For the first time in 6 years, we brought them together. And we shared with them our customer-focused turnaround plan. We recommitted to the basics of quality, service, cleanliness, and value. And the young manager I just told you about stood up in front of all those people and made the staff commitment to the restaurants. You know what I love? Okay, I love a lot of things. You know what I love about Japan? One of the things I love about Japan is that when the going gets tough, everyone instinctively pulls together. And when you show people which way to pull, and you show them a direction they believe in, amazing things happen. So at that first meeting, we did something that blew them away. We showed them the future. We set up displays to show them the new designs and the new equipment that we had planned for the restaurants. At the first meeting, these displays were modest, quite small. But in subsequent meetings, they've grown to fill huge, huge exhibition halls. At the first kickoff meeting in 2016, we shared our new theme line, Power One. The one is each of us, and what we can do to deliver customer satisfaction. And the one is all of us working together to deliver customer satisfaction and drive the business. When we introduced the power of one, something wondrous happened. A very powerful collective reflex took over. Next time you're in a restaurant, take a look at what happens behind the counter. It's like a dance or a relay race, and it's fast, and yet it's very disciplined, and it requires exquisite teamwork. That's what took over. It was like at that very moment, we got our mojo back. I want to show you what I mean. I'm going to show you another video. The people in this video are not paid actors. The people in this video are crew people, managers, suppliers from across restaurants in Japan, and they're dancing their version of the Power of One dance. 3 years has been a very intense, but intensely rewarding experience for all of us at McDonald's Japan. Customers tell us they like our new look. They like our renewed focus on the basics. They like our new menu offerings. Our numbers are up across the board, not just financially, but brand image, customer satisfaction. Everyone's morale is way up, and the media have changed their tune. The upshot? The turnaround and recovery and subsequent growth at McDonald's Japan is the biggest turnaround in the shortest period of time in McDonald's global history. How did we do it? We shook off our complacency. We listened very carefully and very deeply to our customers. We examined every aspect of our operations for what needed to be changed. And then we sat down and we wrote our strategic recovery plan. Was it a good strategy? Was it a good plan? Well, it worked. But again, the truth is, no plan is worth more than the paper it's written on if people don't get behind it and execute it. This was the key to our success. At McDonald's, we have an incredibly strong corporate culture. Everyone in our system, our franchisees, our managers, our suppliers, our support office staff, our crew people, are incredibly passionate about our brand. So the secret ingredient was reigniting that passion, showing them the right path. That's why I say the power of one drove our turnaround. It was all of us, 140,000 of us with the same goals, all motivated to achieve them. But hey, I don't want to sound smug. I don't want to sound self-congratulatory. There is no way we're going to allow ourselves to slip back into complacency. As I quite often say, we should be happy, but we shouldn't be satisfied. We have a lot more work to do. The current success we're experiencing has only bought us the time we need and given us the momentum we need to secure our long-term future. Our next goal is to take a brand that many, many, many people like and turn it into a brand that many, many people love. And a key part of this will be leveraging our global scale, 37,000 restaurants, to drive positive progress in important social and environmental issues. And this year, you'll see us introduce some big changes in our restaurants in Japan. Changes that will allow us to elevate our service, giving our customers an even warmer welcome and even more convenience. So now that we're back on our feet, and we're introducing some exciting new things, I hope to see you in a Makudo near you sometime soon. And with that, I say arigato gozaimasu.
どうもありがとうございました。どうぞもう一度大きな拍手をお願いいたします。そのトークへの舞台転換を行います。準備を行います。しばらくお待ち